Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with Talks Machina, episode 29, campaign 2, The Stalking Nightmare. We just watched it. I jumped right into Talks Machina because we had to do a two-part live stream this week, Friday and Sunday. We just got done with it. Lorenzo is dead. It wasn't Matt Mercer's intentions. He said I was going to try to make him escape, but he forgot to levitate him. He got stunned. Bo did the stunning. Caleb put the finishing move in, and that's why I'm wearing this shirt in honor of Caleb taking down Lorenzo. I honestly wasn't sure if we were going to, and it made sense I felt that way because Matt Mercer's intentions weren't to do so. He said I was going to try to make him dip. I forgot to make him float. Bo did what she did, stunned him, and then he got attacked. We finally killed Lorenzo. We also killed everyone in his party. We killed Prato, Ruza, Wone, the thugs that were with him. Am I missing anybody? I feel like I'm missing somebody. In the midst of all that, Shikasta also dipped, so did Keg, but Keg got a little invite from Bo at the end there. I don't know who is actually in this episode. I jumped to the point in which I was told that it actually starts. 6:20 is the mark, and I actually don't know who's joining us. So let's just jump in. We'll talk more at the end. We got House of the Dragon and Rick and Morty tonight, so I'm going to try to blow through this. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Steven Universe, Infinity Train, all these other shows, dozens of them. Way ahead, Patreon exclusive only. Check it out. If not, Talks Machina, Campaign 2, Episode 29, The Stalking Nightmare. We got a little under an hour, guys, and House of the Dragon starts in an hour and 20, so...
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I missed you.
I miss you guys.
It's been so long.
I literally just did the live stream with you guys.
Some crit roll
jumped right into this. I ate, jumped right in.
Episode 29, a.k.a. at Critical Role Live. Help us, dear God.
Help
I'll never
us,
see
dear
the
God.
color pink and think of anything else ever again.
Oh, see, he's talking about Sam
Or
Riegel's
anything
outfit
with gills. What
from
were
the
those things
Gen
that were
Con.
like,
They were spiky shoulder
Oh, his
buffs.
fins?
Yeah, see, they're talking about his shoulder buffs.
top
Yeah,
type
like
thing? Yeah.
They were sort of like shoulder pops.
Hopefully we
I don't know
never
what you
learn.
call it. I don't know what you call it. I don't wear that shit.
Gaga fins, yes, that's awesome. They should have opened for us since the others canceled.
The Gaga fins. Radiators, guys, while we listen.
159 nines this episode.
159 nines?
Total rolls,
Is that what he said?
including damage rolls. 159 in 29 episodes.
Wunderbar.
Yep.
That's a lot of nines.
Wunderbar.
The 150th nine goes to Bo. Deck save against the fire trap.
Oh.
Well nined.
Yeah.
Well nined.
Thank you.
Speaking
Well
of
nined.
Bo dealt 147
159
damage in this
nines.
episode.
Ooh, Bo,
The
look at
most
that.
for anyone in any episode of Campaign 2 so far.
Is that true?
I was saying Knot was going up there, but the
would
way
not be a
Bo
critical
handled it
stat
at the
if it
end
weren't
makes
true.
sense. Bo handled out the most
I
damage.
I don't think
Not
that
had to
critical
be
stats
second.
has given us any reason to doubt them thus far, and I
Yeah,
don't like
don't
where this
doubt.
is going.
Stats.
You're right. This is how fake news starts.
That's true. We love crit roll
Yeah,
stats.
you don't
This
doubt
is the class
critical
you
role
were born to
stats.
play.
You don't do this. You don't do this.
Amen.
Not in this. Not up in here.
147 in one episode.
That's pretty boss.
awesome.
That I've never been the grog before. I'm so
147 in
excited
one
for you guys.
episode.
Yeah. Yeah, between you
Guys,
and when
just in
Yasha
case
gets
you're wondering
back
why I
and
keep
starts
clearing my throat, I screamed
level
so
5 or
angrily
whatever.
loud at the
Metal
Saints
Man.
game
Metal.
that I literally lost my voice already.
Sentinel Babes,
So I
what's
keep
it called?
clearing my throat.
Sentinel babes.
In episode 7, Shikasta's spiritual weapon, the bust of Estelle Getty, attacked twice and
The
hit
bust
both times.
of Estelle Getty.
In this episode,
Nefertiti.
29, Shikasta's spiritual weapon,
0.
the stack shoot of Nefertiti,
I think it was 0.
attacked 4 times and missed all 4
Well,
attacks.
4, yeah, he hit 0.
Like Kara got a real dose of what Dungeons and Dragons feels
Estelle
like to
Getty
play.
did well.
You're there with this live
Nefertiti did
audience,
not
there's
do
all
the job.
energy. You flew across the country. Fail 4 times in a row. Lorenzo's last action was Cone of Cold. Following that, the party dealt 117 damage to him of their 176 total damage. That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
This battle against Lorenzo
That started out very
is the
slow and
in-game longest in the
interesting,
party's
but then
history.
ended with a
6
blast.
rounds or 36 seconds.
Wow. 36 long seconds.
That's crazy.
That does feel like a long time when you're probably fighting and getting blasted with freezing cold in your face.
Yeah.
Going unconscious.
But if you think about it,
36
MMA
seconds
fighters
for all
and
that to
boxers
happen.
go
Time is elastic.
25 full minutes
Yeah.
of
Heard that
full-on
from Detective.
barrages. But I mean, these
Here's
people are
a-
using
that was
magic
deep
and
cut.
other
That was a
things.
Deep cut. Probably my last of the night, guys. Legati Works has a question for both of you.
Okay.
So Sam had an outfit. Thoughts, feelings?
All right, so we're going to talk
Oh,
more about
man.
Sam's
Well,
outfit.
So many.
I mean, the main
Marisha
thing
looks
that we
exhausted
started
or
talking about
slightly
immediately
buzzed,
is
or
what the
both.
hell are you going to do next
Look at her
year?
face.
In the van. In the
She
van
looks
when we left the
exhausted.
theater.
Or maybe she's just
you
buzzed
said
and it
that
ain't
the
nothing
first
to
thing
do
in the
with
van.
that.
Well, Sam was,
What's it going to be?
and he was panicking. He's like, I have no idea.
Xenomorph?
Man,
I'm
yeah.
gonna back
Cthulhu.
up, back it up,
I
back
have
it
a
up.
feeling whatever it is, the producers are not going to like it, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to go against some sort of theater violation
Yeah.
code system.
Full Matthew Mercer costume?
Oh, I can see that.
Wow, that's
A
weird.
chest tattoo of one of his Mercer
not like-
shirts.
A full
like the
Matt
other
Mercer
ones.
costume would be quite interesting.
Not weird.
Seeing Sam look like my husband.
Well, he'll look like Sam with long hair.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking like full
And beautiful
prosthetic
chiclet teeth,
situation.
too,
Prosthetics.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Marisha
amping
goes,
it
I
up,
was
putting on
thinking
a
you
wig
meant
and
full
wearing a-
prosthetics. Yes, Sam
like a Henley isn't
is going to
that-
go to the extent of doing
Well,
a
It's not
full
amping it up from
prosthetic
what he did.
restoration of your husband.
Oh, now that's a game changer. Now that's Clark Kent taking off his sunglasses.
I dig the
another
fire in the
question-
back. There is a
Another question for both
television
of you.
screen
Dearth.
producing
Does
what looks
playing
like
your
blue
characters
flames
work
in a
or
fake
feel
fireplace.
different with just the cast and crew versus when you're with a live audience, and how so?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. I like both for totally different reasons. When we're around the table, it's very intimate and immediate, and it just feels living and breathing. But the live
That
shows
looks so much
are
like Kate
100%
Death,
live
but it's
theater,
Kate
and when you do
Dearth.
live theater, the audience
Or
is
Dearth.
another player
Dearth or
in the
Dearth?
production.
Yeah.
I think
You
it
can't
maybe Dearth.
ignore
Dearth.
the presence of a giant 2400
Dearth. See, it's like
person amorphous
Dearth,
blob that's
Kate
emoting
Dearth.
and energized
Maybe it's
along with
Kate
you.
Dearth.
So I mean, and it's not just as simple as hold for laughter. Like that energy feeds. There's a reason why all the live shows are a little punchier because it's like surfing on a tsunami wave.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And you're looking out there and seeing.
I also
people
noticed that
cosplay-
episode 30 is
cosplaying as the characters
one of,
you're
if not
playing,
the shortest
standing
of the
up and
entire
cheering when
series so
you
far.
have a success.
3
you know,
hours and
screaming, "Oh
20
God," when
minutes
you have
total.
a failure.
Yeah.
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 Chanting.
I'm gonna do-
screaming, It's
The first 2
crazy.
hours
Yeah.
that
in part
cycle
2
of
and
energy that
1
you always
and
talk about in
exclusive hour.
live theater or live shows.
Not
that
going to be a very long
Yeah.
live stream.
It's why
I mean,
you
we'll
do
have
them. It's great.
Like an hour and
We
30 minutes
tried
again.
to prepare Kari for that wall of sound that would,
Yeah.
and he was like, yeah, nope. Boom. He got backstage. He's like, oh my God, dude,
Yeah.
you weren't kidding.
It feels like a sound wave. It
Dwarven
feels like you have
Forge shirt.
bottle rocket
Who
goes
is that
on
in the
next to you.
background? That looks like the
Last year,
critical
same thing. At the
drinker.
end
Is
of
that
these
Brian?
live shows, we just stand
I
up
just
there and
realized that
cry.
probably is
It's
Brian. There's a
overwhelming.
guy
Like,
with
it's a
glasses
dump
with a
of
beard and hair. It looks like
emotion
Brian.
and just like
He looks a
it's
lot like the critical drinker
just
in
the
those
fact
shades.
that these, stupid shows, speaking only for my own, for legal
I'll
reasons.
throw ours in there.
Okay, thank you. No,
See it
just
over there?
seeing the
That is
impact
Brian.
that it has on
He
people.
looks a lot like the critical
Reading
drinker.
tweets is one thing, and that's meaningful and that's endearing. But seeing that love in person is really energizing.
It's beyond words.
Yeah,
No shit.
yeah.
No shit.
Liam, Gloriously Geek asks, great name. Were you surprised with how useful a spy Frumpkin was as a spider?
No, I was not surprised at
There's
all.
no
It was a
space.
great
It looks
idea
like
right from
Frumpkin
the
was.
beginning, right
Frump-
from the first moment
Frump-
that it entered into my head.
Frumpkin was.
I don't know why
Frumpkin
anyone would
was.
think it would be a bad
My
idea.
spider
but that's
friend
on them, I
Frumpkin was.
suppose.
Man, I got criticized and questioned when I turned into shit for 3 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So I deserve a little bit
But there's an explanation for
vindication
that,
here
though.
to make fun of other people's choice and animal choices.
I mean,
In
there's
all
an explanation
fairness,
for that,
though, she's
Marisha.
not wrong.
Because you're
but-
a woman.
Because you're a woman.
Hashtag thanks, Keyleth.
She isn't
I
wrong.
love having
But in all
Brian.
honesty, I think
Saying
her
the things in our heads.
dispute over it
Yep.
was
I
insanely
say
dumb.
things so you
And I'm
don't
not trying to
have
be
to.
mean, but it was dumb. And I said it all the
But
time.
yeah, getting
I gotta call
hashtag
things
thanks,
out when I
Keyleth
think they're
out of that
dumb.
was worth
If I'm
it.
dumb, you
Thanks,
call me
Keyleth.
dumb.
What did I say?
That was dumb.
Thanks, Keyleth.
Why would you
Thanks,
think a
Keyleth.
spider would not be a very
Guys, bad
useful
news. Danny Cam is
character,
still down.
creature to
Sorry,
create
ATA
for Frumpkin
Maxwell
to snoop
James.
around? I mean,
don't
she
want
got
another
caught
week
once.
to go by.
It got
we
caught
get to
once,
look at
whatever.
her.
Well, she looks
Spider
so
was
They
glorious.
deserve to look at
Unless
her.
there is like
she looks
an
so
undoubtable
amazing.
flaw. I feel like why even
She
bring it
looks
up?
like the mayor-
That's the point.
She looks like the mayor of New
She
York
probably
City
did things
in,
that made no
Superman-
sense, and I'm just
Super
assuming.
Mario Odyssey, doesn't she? Dancing out in front of the thing.
What is her name? I should have
I
looked
can't
this
remember
up.
either.
I think she looks like she's in Heathers.
She's a
Yes.
You do.
Heathers.
I feel
Yeah,
very
it's
Winona
awesome.
Ryder tonight.
Winona
Fun
Ryder,
fact, she just
Shannon Doherty.
commandeered that
Who was
hat
the other
from
one?
Taliesin's stash that he brought for Honey Heist.
I did steal it.
Oh,
Thank you, Chris Lockey.
Pauline.
Pauline is the mayor of.
Thank you.
this is the content you are tuning in for.
It is.
Great fucking game.
This is the content we tuned in
Incredible
for.
game.
I finished that one.
You did?
Yeah, I never
Nice.
finish video games anymore.
I know,
Finished that
between
one.
the schedule and kids and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
But we busted out our switches on the plane and we're causing some ruckus. Until one of us got.
I love the
thrown
little
off
Krog's
around
ale
Phoenix.
barrel. I've said this before too. I want to buy a large
Angelic
one. Where's the large one?
Atsumi
Oh, there it is.
asks,
At the corner.
Marisha, would you say Bo's newfound confidence with ladies has been just luck of the draw or Molly's influence to live life to its fullest?
It's a good question. Probably a little
A little
both.
bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I would think so.
And
'Cause she was already going down that
She's always kind of
road.
been a bit of a flirt and has put on the moves pretty heavily.
Have you heard people say disaster lesbian
Oh, like
about Bo? Okay. 'Cause it's
Daily.
all over everything I read on Tumblr.
Daily.
Like,
I've
Bo is
never
a
heard that in my life.
disaster lesbian,
Disaster.
and I-
Maybe one of
Disaster
you have
lesbian
said
to
it in the
the
live
face.
I
streams.
love it.
Disaster
It's so
lesbian.
funny.
great.
It's an interesting one.
I love it. It's the most two accurate words you can have.
Should make
right
an
now.
action movie, and that's the title.
Disaster lesbian.
Oh yeah.
That's a great idea.
It's like an exploitation film, like
Yes.
in the 1970s style. Super
Yes.
into that.
Starring Marisha Ray,
Yeah.
the disaster lesbian.
Disaster
Oh man,
lesbian.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, no, she's had a little bit more opportunity. There was a time.
Is Marisha? I'm not being mean. I'm just
yeah, I don't know
noticing
if
because
I should spoil this or not.
I'll tell you right now. I
there's
told
a
you
few
guys already.
times I
I'm
was
pretty
trying
freaking drunk
to-
from the live stream, and I jumped right
was
into
gonna
this. She
break
looks like
through
she's
those
either
next barriers
buzzed
with Yasha.
Yeah.
or
And
tired
I
or
kept
both. Like she's
missing the
just
opportunity,
very
and then
like
they went missing, and then wasn't sure there, and then.
Wait,
and
so you're
then-
saying right as
it looks
right
like
as
she
was
climbed
about
out
to
of bed,
leave, you
no
made a move
makeup.
on Ashley? I wouldn't know what
I mean,
that's
she's
like.
still she's still attractive. I'm not saying she's not good looking. She just looks like she didn't even put makeup on. She looks like she just
She
like
just left
woke up.
before you could have a chance to get a
I love
goodbye
how
kiss.
this show is so much like therapy.
So cathartic.
Yeah.
But was,
Like,
was
listen
there
to her
any of
laughing.
Molly's influence?
Usually when you
for
start
sure.
snorting
It's
and
a
laughing like
little,
that,
like,
it's because you're
you
like
know,
on another level.
Fuck it, you could literally die tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what also helps?
And I mean, it's a little.
I can never tell
it's
though because
some
half the time you guys
cathartic
tell
boning.
me no, this is just how they
A little
act.
bit of validation boning from Keg. To
Validation
Bo, you know?
boning.
You've got to have that daddy issues bone. It's a little bit about that.
You need a good closure bone.
A little bit of a closure bone.
A little bit of a closure
A
bone.
Yeah,
closure
cap.
bone
Yeah.
from Keg.
This is like therapy because that's where I heard that term closure bone was from my therapist.
You know what also helped out in that
I hope you
situation?
heard that in
Keg.
therapy.
Yeah.
Super horny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
Bo's got her insecurities deep down inside. She
Yeah.
doesn't show them, so you're gonna be aroused by what I do for that many weeks in a row. Bo's gonna be like, yeah, so. I'm
I
gonna
definitely
cash
feel
in
like
some of
Bo
that
has
sexual
been coming into
frustration
her
right about
own.
now.
Now that we have a free second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but you know, I've been kind of waiting because, like you said, you don't want to wake up the next morning and have to deal with that. You can kind of wait until she can walk off into the sunset. Don't have
Look
to
at
deal with
this
the
mug.
awkwardness.
Look at this
Oh,
mug
man.
over here.
Never mind.
She's
have to
drinking
let
it
that
from
one
the
go.
side without the handle.
I don't do that
because there
very
is a
often.
woman
You know, by
as the
ones
handle
that
of her
slip
mug
out,
glass.
That's some dark shit.
This
Whatever,
is
it's
bad.
not even glass.
This is
It's
bad.
made of
Matthew
metal. It's not a
Peterson
glass.
has a question. Excuse me, Matthew Patterson has a question for both of you.
Caleb and Bo.
What are Caleb and Bo's first impressions?
Here we go.
of
About
Caduceus?
Caduceus.
Boy, he's ready to put his life in danger. Just like that. There's that. He's fascinating.
He was sort of secluded and solitary for a while, so it could be that he needs that adventure, that adrenaline.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted to get out, but he could go on like a train ride through Alaska. But instead, we invaded a compound.
Yeah.
So he's got some stuff to work on himself, evidently.
I do not remember seeing Alaska on the map of.
It's just off the edge.
I see. Okay.
I think we're being lied to.
It's
or
hidden like
fibbed.
one part of one of Matt's
he's
maps.
embellishing
Oh,
slightly.
by the way, guys, we didn't get to zoom in on the Dwarven Forge. Check this out.
Oh, what is this?
Oh yeah.
We did already?
Let's do it again.
Did you guys see the little? Did you see the kitties in the back?
Oh my God, we're
This
Dwarven
is part
Forge.
of the new Cavern Steep set. Look, there's you in the back.
Cavern
You can lift him up if
Steeps?
you want.
Is that what he said?
There's a one-armed Percy.
Yep.
That happens after
A
the end of
one-armed
campaign one.
Percy.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, switch to
Arm
red.
broke off.
Just aesthetically, switch to red.
Let's see, what's next here? Liam.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wait, did you give your impressions of Caduceus? No, you didn't.
Bo has very mild wounds right now because we kind of met him, threw him immediately into the fray.
Yeah.
I think she's a little like, kind of like what he said, a little like, what the fuck is up with this guy? But
Okay.
I think she was so desperate for any type of help at the time. She's just like, yeah, you're in, let's go.
Yeah.
Train's leaving right now. Go
Another
fucking ride.
person to come along and help you find your friends.
That's
is a
why
win,
he's wearing the
especially if
Dwarven
they
Forge
have-
shirt. Earlier I was like, yeah, Brian
Yeah.
the Dwarven Forge. I didn't realize
Liam.
there was a whole
Yeah.
freaking
Mag
mini thing.
Opus, great name also, asks,
Mag
the
Opus.
infiltration showed how much of a natural leader Caleb can be. If he puts aside his indecisions, did he like that taste of power over the others, or would he prefer things to go back to the status quo now that Ford is back again?
I wouldn't say that he enjoys having power over others.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to want to lead the group. I think he's going to
that he
give it back to
has
Ford.
buried ability
Certain people
to
just don't want to lead. He
think
doesn't seem like
critically
someone
and
who
get
wants
shit
to lead,
done,
even though he's capable.
but hasn't been in that mode for a very long time. And he has very high arcing plans, but is nowhere near like maximum efficiency after being in the fridge for so long.
Yeah.
In the
So I think
fridge.
the plan is to get out there and start, getting comfortable again. And he, I don't know. I mean, like, I think Caleb is a mess of contradictions. And I changed my mind for what I think or what he thinks in any given day or moment.
Really?
Any
that
given
often?
Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, there are games where like he really is like drawn to the people in this group in moments in the story and thinks like, I like this is good, but also like I should not allow myself to get comfortable with any of them because what I'm doing is more important and I need to be able to walk away from them if I have to, because what I'm doing is more important. Like all human beings, you say one thing, you tell yourself, well, I'm about this, I always do this, and are lying
What I'm
to
doing is
yourself.
more important.
Yeah.
And are really the whole time while you
I guess
feed
it's
yourself
his
that
own
lie, doing something
personal
completely
journey. I just feel like
counter.
whatever he needs to get done can
That
be
brings
done
up
with us. We're not really
an
deterring
interesting
him from
point.
that.
So how much room do you guys leave at the start of a character's journey for personality changes and stuff based on what happens week to week? Because I imagine you have to have their core personality traits sort of figured out, but it sounds like you leave room to be able to really solidify that based on kind of how
For
the
a second,
beginning
I
of the
thought
journey
House of the Dragon was almost on. I was like, oh my
I
God.
mean, I think in a weird way, it doesn't matter how much you plan or how much you say you're going to have these causes
The
or
bear
these
next to
beliefs or
Marisha
these
is creeping
pillars
me
that you're
out.
going to die on.
And Jester is I
you know,
keep
you
hitting
kind
my
of-
goddamn
you
phone.
pick a
Jester is
background
facing
and
the middle
you
of the
act on
corner, and I
that,
feel like it's a bad omen
and
because
kind
she's
of
in
even
everything.
having those ideals that you're willing to really go all in on, no matter what, the world is going to change who you are, and the world is going to throw shit at you just in real life. That's going to change you and affect you whether you wanted to or not.
Yeah.
So I think some people might be more stubborn, like Caleb, in terms of how things are going to bounce off of him and change him. you know, I think Bo is a little bit more vulnerable to those things at this point in her life.
Interesting.
So, you know, she was affected by the Molly thing. She's run in criminal groups and never had a death like that before that she's really, you know, cared about ultimately. So, yeah.
I feel like she was ranting for a while there. I know I go on my rants,
I'll just
but
bring
that
it back, I think, more directly to the question, and that like
I can't
he
help but
doesn't like
think.
having
I mean, I'm
control
sorry if I keep
over
going back
people,
to it, but I'm just saying,
think
based on
he
what I
has the
feel,
potential
I feel like
to
Marisha
bring
is.
back some of the promise of his youth.
Look at her right now.
And
She's playing with her ear and
early
she's
on
shaking
with this
and
group,
stuff.
you know, who the fuck are these people? He
I
doesn't
feel
know.
like
He's
she's
just
like
trying
she
to get a
lifts
little
like
bit
one
of
in
protection.
circles, and
I'm talking
honestly,
about
I don't even know what the hell she just said.
A little bit of protection, a little bit more ability to get, you know, to stick his neck out there with safety around him. But with what happened with, you know,
I mean, if she's not drunk, I
even if he
apologize.
doesn't want to admit it to himself.
Because I just assume she is the way she's
But
acting.
with what happened with the shepherds,
But then again, I am drunk, so
made him angry,
I still
I
feel
think, in
like
a way that he
something's up.
would never have anticipated. And then losing three of them, and having just less of us there. There's so many things I could talk about here. Like, so he wants to do impossible things. And I think Caleb, seeing all the things that happened over the past couple of days with the shepherds, he part of him is thinking, like, if I want to do the impossible, if I can't do this, like early days Caleb with this group, you know, as he was just
early days, Caleb.
deciding to
I like that.
begin
That's
his
his new name,
you know,
Early
his
Days
life's
Caleb.
work, really.
Yeah.
It was good to like hang back and just, you know, skulk. But when after a month of investment in these and him being drawn to them
Unpacking
against
my
his,
pipe.
you know, his better senses, having them gone, A, made him angry in a way he didn't anticipate, and then B, like there was no ability to skulk anymore. It was just the three of us, and nobody was gonna. You can't. There's no hanging back. So decisions had to be made, and I feel like
hanging back.
that forced that shit out of him that has lain dormant for so long. So it's not about like I like being a leader. Caleb don't want to be a leader, but he will get shit done if he has to.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
In that way,
That's what I said before.
Leader by
Where does
default.
this end?
I think it's just interesting because we're starting to see,
like
in my
35
opinion,
minutes.
Caleb's anger moving outward instead of inward as much, and that's been
Probably
interesting.
accurate, yeah.
Yeah. Marisha, speaking of what we were just talking about a few
I
minutes
want to
ago,
know
it's
about
Meg
Lorenzo. I am
Hughes
sorry
says,
if
how
we're
does it
talking
feel
about
being the
character
MVP of
building
Mighty
and
Nine
stuff
right
like
now?
that, but
Does Bo feel vindicated for Molly's death?
I don't think that's like a thing that should even be like thought about.
For that death.
I think that's just like, I don't know. The questioning, I'm not trying to rag on people. I just feel
No, I
like the
didn't get that
questioning is a little
feeling
like
at all.
boring.
That's gonna-
I'm
that's gonna leave a
there's
mark,
nothing
for
exciting. I
sure.
want to know about Lorenzo. I want to know about
Revenge
the
and closure
fighting.
don't always.
I really don't
they're not
care.
always
They're
the
not
I
same.
didn't think
same.
Bo was
That's an excellent
responsible.
way of
I didn't
putting
think
it.
Bo
Yeah.
was like, I thought Bo could have made wiser choices. I didn't think that
Maybe
mattered.
someday she will find that closure.
Like, I feel like everything they're
in
talking about
some
isn't nearly
other
as
form,
important as what
but
we've dealt with. Radiators.
Clearing out one fuck face doesn't right all the wrongs.
Yeah.
More boning.
More
More
boning. Yeah.
boning.
It's what Molly would have wanted.
It's what Molly would have wanted.
That's
yeah.
true. Actually, that was one of the things that Tal'dorei actually said to me after he got done with the live show. He was like, "Molly would be so proud."
I heard him say that. Yeah. That's right. Oh man.
If Molly could teach you anything, it's just please go get laid in the world.
Yeah.
I think Molly going down for both the Empire kids.
Molly
I feel
going
like,
down.
Well, we don't know everything about each other's intentions. Like,
Shocked no one made a comment.
Molly going
when Liam
down
said when
shows
Molly.
the
He just did it
cost.
twice.
excuse me.
How did he do it twice and no
cost of what
one
they're trying
made a
to
joke?
do.
Molly went down.
Separately and
Molly
together.
was going down.
So while they didn't know him that well, I mean, they spent hard times with him with their lives in danger, and their lives are in danger, and if they keep doing the things they're doing, it's not
looking
going to
like my
change.
phone's lighting
and
up,
that
but it's the
is that
shadowing
can easily
of the
happen
TV.
to any of them.
Or the
Yeah.
Monticello.
Yeah.
That's what Molly's death
Monticello.
meant, I think, at least from Caleb's viewpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like kind of what we were talking about earlier. I think one of the things that Bo lingers with is putting on a front to Molly in the very last conversation that we had. and he was trying to be honest with her, or like have a genuine conversation, and she kind of fronted a little bit.
Yeah.
And got really close to
Liam
opening
the
up,
entire
and he
time
didn't.
is just
And then
like,
he died the
when
next
he's not
morning.
talking, he's looking with this like cocked
So I
eye.
think for
Almost like The
Bo,
Rock,
she's
like he's
really like
he's
processing
like
the fact,
thinking
like,
really deeply or
you
questioning
didn't-
something.
You missed that. You missed that opportunity, and it happened like that. So, and then
It'll
what?
teach you a lesson.
Yeah. So that's kind of why she jumped up on the opportunity with Keg. I don't know if she would have before then, kind of like what we were saying earlier. And what also kind of oddly influenced this or sunk in. I don't know if you guys have watched Glow, the latest
I have
season
not,
of
but that is
Glow,
that
or anything
wrestling
about
show
that.
with
There's a documentary
Allison Brie.
about the
Women's
original
wrestling.
Glow,
Yeah.
also on Netflix.
I've never seen it.
Oh.
And it's so good, right, Steve? It's
I've heard it's
so
good. Allison Brie, I love Allison Brie.
Camera guy's like,
Community. I hear there's nudity. Is that what he just said? I hear there's a lot of
they're
nudity.
interviewing the woman who the
I hear
character,
Allison Brie gets naked, and everyone's like, "Oh my God,
Machu
Allison Brie's
Picchu
the
was
hottest
based
thing ever."
on, who originally
And she's
was
very
called Mountain
attractive.
Fiji,
Oh.
and was kind of was the heart of Glow. And she's talking about how she has these regrets because she was in love with the producer, and she never told him, and she never acted on it. And then like 20 years has gone by, and she's still in love with this man.
Wow.
And they end up having, I don't want to spoil it, I will totally sit here and fucking spoil it. You should totally watch it though.
Wow, that's great.
But,
Max, how does it feel to know that'll never happen to you?
oh my God, you're so fucking mean.
Dick.
Hey, if you go to our Instagram, I posted a very sweet
She's drunk.
thing.
She's
In fact,
definitely.
loving on Max
If
today
she
because
isn't
I give him so much
overly
shit on the show, I
exhausted,
had
she's
to-
drunk.
But we have to balance
Because
the
she
scales,
is
but
talking
it
when
was
she tells
really
the story.
nice. I said
She's
a lot of
like,
really
and
nice shit.
then,
I had to
and
come back
then,
All that balance.
and
Because all day
then,
today
and
he was
she's
walking
like
around
acting like one of those
"That's
people
right."
that has no
And
concept of
somebody's like,
time
"Can you
right
grab
now, and
that?"
she
He's
doesn't
like, "You
normally
grab it
do that.
yourself, you
I've
piece
seen
of
her many a
shit."
time. Something's up.
Let's give away some free shit, shall we?
Free?
Let's get some free shit.
Free?
Free.
Give it away.
I mean,
our
to each
first
his own.
giveaway
You're allowed
tonight-
to. I'm just saying, Marisha
Our first
Ray
giveaway
is
honoring
definitely
your epic,
in a
Effing-
different
It's over, dude.
mood than usual.
You're
Can't take it on the plane.
You can bring it on the plane. They miss it every time. Honoring your epic
Fan art of the week.
gift-making
Oh,
skills.
gift.
It's time for gift of the week.
Gift of the week. Let's see. Last week there were two, and one was phenomenal, and one was
Our winner
and both
for
were winners.
episode 29 of Campaign 2 was sent in by @Seraphine Dreams. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. In the year
looks
2018,
pretty
the
great.
tabletop in LA. Oh my God, that went fast.
What is happening?
All right, that one I got. The anti-Wheaton.
18.
Yeah. Oh, you guys were talking about this in the live stream. Roll damage
20.
20. Look at his face. Look
I
at-
try
look
to
at-
get the dice from her that she uses because it
Look at Matt's
rolls
face.
so high. And that's a 20.
Maybe it's because of
Oh
how
my
small she is and how close
Number
she is to the
two.
dice
Come on,
tray.
baby.
True, maybe it
20.
doesn't roll as...
Number 3.
Maybe it doesn't have as far to drop.
Yeah.
What
So-
rolls? I don't recall
Like if
her
she
getting
walked
that
into
many.
Wheaton's front door, would there be a nuclear detonation?
Yeah, because the two...
18.
Yeah, the two things, yeah,
4 solid
Kira
rolls.
bubble?
that was...
Oh, it's so cute.
That was
We
gift of
love
the week.
Ashley. Had so
Not
much
as good
fun
as
having
last
her
week,
on the show the past 4
but
weeks.
better than the other one
She's
I
great.
didn't like as much. Some of them, it
Congrats
isn't
to
even
you,
against
Seraphine Dreams. You have
the
won this.
idea itself.
Not the
Some of
best
them go by so
detective
quick you can't
agency
even read it,
shirt.
and then it's like,
Yeah,
here's my thing. If
it's
you
really
can't
pretty.
understand or enjoy the
the
joke, it
bottom
doesn't
is
matter how
this.
funny it is.
It
It ain't gonna
says
matter.
technically
And the one that they did
there's
at the
no
beginning
comment.
of last week went by so
Softest
fast.
shirts
I think they
I've
even
ever
showed
felt
it
in my life.
twice, and I couldn't even
My
follow
goodness.
it. I knew what was going on because we saw it live in that
Blessed by
episode.
me,
But the
blessed by you.
meme itself or the
Recognize
GIF itself went
shirt
so
for
quick.
Seraphine.
I was just like, holy crap, you can't even like read it. It is just like words,
Into the mic.
words.
Sorry.
But hey, I guess
Sorry,
if you
Chris.
pause it and you slowed it
He
down,
left
it was
actually
funny,
like
and
20
then
minutes
whatever.
ago. Captain Obvious has a question
Captain
for
Obvious.
everyone.
We're down to
Does
25
anyone want to
minutes.
elaborate on how Kari acquired
I'm only
that
worried
lamp?
because House of the
Is
Dragon
staff of the Marat
is going to be
Theater
a
just
big one
completely
tonight, and it's on
bewildered by all of this-
35, so I got
by
like
all of
10
you at
minutes
this
to
point?
spare.
Most of the people that were there this year that work at the theater were there last year.
Yes. And they remembered us.
They remembered us.
And all the
They
critters.
were excited for us to be back.
They were.
Yeah.
I was saying I didn't know if the security guy downstairs was the same guy as last year or not. And when I got all dressed up in the Taliesin outfit and I was walking out to go on stage, as I walked past him, he was sitting there like this and he goes, "Well, that's a lot worse than last year." I was like, okay, that's the guy. We went
it was the same guy
downstairs
then.
to eat dinner before the show.
Right, in a
and
room that was ice cold.
The
there was a room
Murat
that was
Theater
about
just completely
42
bewildered
degrees.
by all of you at this
Incredible.
point.
And behind the tables where
Murat.
they had our food were the two stack shoes, lamps.
Yeah, the whole thing was kind of Egyptian themed. They
Yeah.
had a lot of paintings
Yep.
of stuff like that, and then these
As
Nefertiti lamps.
As Kari is loading chicken onto his plate.
Nefertiti
and
lamps, that's where he got
goes,
the...
You know, I could take one of those upstairs.
It was not that low key. He
No,
loved
yeah,
the idea
he was
and was
obsessed.
like, Kari's got the gift for gab, and he was
Yeah.
on about so we're all like,
So
loading
Kari-
up our plates.
I need an empowered
Immediately
woman
wanted-
from history to be my spiritual weapon. And then he's like talking to like Max and Vinny, our producers, and he was like, "Do you think the theater staff will let me take her on stage? She's my spiritual weapon."
Yep.
And yeah, we made it.
I didn't
Nefertiti.
know
So that's how it
if it was gonna
happened.
happen or not
Very
until I
interesting.
saw
I
two
said during the
people
live stream, I'm like,
as I was getting ready
why
to go on stage.
and how does he have
It
a
looked heavy,
full-sized
moving that
plastic
thing into
woman?
its position.
I don't know if
God
it's
we got it,
plastic, but
though.
it looks like it's
Yeah.
hardened
Turn the tide about.
plastic.
Completely, yeah.
Giant
It was
life-size
so hot, you
Nefertiti.
needed the breeze of her woofing 4 times to cool yourself down. Oh boy,
in there.
we have Liam.
Yes.
The past few episodes, we've seen a different side of Caleb than we're used to.
With the
We've seen him
fire?
taking charge and approaching things practically. and
Yeah,
with
Caleb's
precision.
getting a little
What's
aggressive
been
and
going through
confident
Caleb's
and
your own
being
head
very
to bring
weird with
about this
fire.
shift?
More weird than usual.
Oh, I covered a lot of that.
We covered a lot of that
quite
earlier.
A bit. Yeah, I think I said this already, but like with everything he wants to do, if he can't do this, if he can't make this happen, I think going into that fight, he was so angry at how they were schooled by
God.
those people. And he's like, we're going to go into this is going to be easy, and we're going to kill them in their sleep.
I've
It's
been up
gonna be
since
easy."
12 o'clock doing
It was
videos. It is
so
8:25.
much harder than he anticipated. But even when he
And
was
right
getting
after
his
this, House
ass
of the Dragon, and then right
handed
after
to
that,
him
Rick and
and
Morty.
was on death's door, was like, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this, so that you can go on and do the next thing.
Yeah,
Yep, that's the end of that answer.
man.
That's the end of that answer.
Cyberwolf 1201 has a question for Marisha Ray,
Cyberwolf 1201.
the actor.
I'm moving back 'cause
How are you enjoying
I
Matt's
kicked him in
revisions to the Cobalt Soul subclass? Do you feel as if the changes have significantly helped you in
Swinging
and
my
leading
legs
up
'cause
to
I
the
just had
fights
tons
with
of coffee,
Lorenzo?
and now I have so much energy.
Yeah, I'm liking the lower upfront cost for extract aspects is much nicer. I feel a little bit more inclined to use it. And that's such a situational ability anyway. It's kind of definitely meant for those bigger boss
Cyberwolf
characters or things that you're going to
1201.
encounter more to figure out their weaknesses. Still trying to figure out the right things to ask, though. But yeah, I'm definitely liking it much
though.
better. And the expertise kind of ability that
After
he kind of
we got off the
reworked.
live stream, guys, I drank like 2 cups of
where
coffee and
he
ate.
is, I
So
forgot what it's
now
called.
I'm drunk
But
and
basically, I
have
got
the
a boost
jitters.
to my history
so
instead
I'm
of
like
spending
like raging with
points.
energy.
That's been nice too.
And I'm drunk.
That's
I don't know
nice.
how good a choice that was.
Yeah,
It works
specialties.
kind of like that. Yeah.
Specialties is a spell that Caduceus has.
Yeah.
Whatever the abilities are that you have as a monk, I think that we should keep them.
Yeah, with dealing 147
Yes, we
points
should
or
have
whatever.
Those.
Yes,
Those we should have.
Let's have those.
What is that thing
That
underneath
stun
the
moves off, man.
green octopus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That almost looks like
Yep.
a character
great
out of
when
like
it happens.
Pokemon or
Gamble,
something.
win big.
Yeah, that's what my grandfather used to say.
Gamble?
He died gambling. But he died doing what he loved.
I feel like
Losing
Matt.
our
I feel like Brian's
inheritance.
told us a story about his degenerate gambling grandfather.
Both of you, this
before.
question is
But
from
I don't know.
T. Mandy
Matt's told a lot of
II.
interesting stories about
Were you
himself.
kind of sad that Lorenzo died so soon, or was it the best moment ever to see
It was
him
awesome
burn?
to see him burn, but I wish he stayed
I
around
don't
longer.
think many moments in my life, or it's a small number, will rival the fucking impossible moment of that motherfucker dying and with us doing it on stage with so many amazing
wasn't me.
people
That was Liam.
cheering us on.
Liam
How
was
did it feel to get
near
that? How do
dead
you wanna do
for the
this?
entire
It
match.
was
He got blasted early on,
bewildering,
2 points of
and-
damage,
and-
hit out till he got the final blow.
Just made that moment of like stupid luck all the more blindingly amazing.
Yeah.
I was stunned.
Yeah. What about you? Were you
I mean,
sad
we
you
knew it was
moved on,
ending
or were
soon
you-
because
Wow.
Matt was saying he's
Fuck
beat
that,
up.
He's dead.
He is injured.
Yeah.
Keg
No,
was
I,
very
I
close.
got
Bo
the
was
how
very
do you wanna
close.
do
Everyone
this
got
that
close to
first
being
year
the
of show,
finishing
though.
blow.
That's right.
And I was like, we were sharing stories.
Yeah.
You know
Marisha
the
has
story.
told us since then how it was like the greatest high ever. It was just
I mean, everyone in the room
Euphoric
jumps up
wave.
on their feet and is screaming because it's like
For like a minute.
just to hear Matt say those words is in person.
How do you wanna do this?
You know, with 2 mics in his mouth at once. Yeah, it was awesome.
And the stakes
how's
were
that
pretty
go?
big on this
It was
one.
like this.
like
Is
It
that
was
two
like, no,
mics
you
in
have
his
to
mouth
keep
at
them at
once?
an
Down
angle.
here, okay.
Keep them at an angle because
That's more
otherwise
dignified.
you don't want them to hit each other. Could cause problems.
Right.
Not for me,
One
but
side.
Colliding
I can't wait
mics,
for Honey Heist.
Honey Heist, Electric Boogaloo.
Either.
What was it?
a lot
Electric.
worse
They
than that
said it
last
earlier.
night.
Honey
Love
Heist.
it, or we're going off the air.
Electric Bear
I
Galoo,
wonder.
I think it is.
gonna be
Electric
some
Bear
Reddit threads.
Galoo.
There's going to be some threads about this one. And
Dancing. I'm dancing.
Upset someone.
I'm not apologizing in advance, and I won't apologize after because it was the funnest night of the last, 2 nights of my life. Marisha,
That sounded
Mary
dark.
Lucretia 1 asks,
Lucretia.
after seeing Caleb go
Mary
into a state
Lucretia,
several times, does Bo
number 1.
care for Caleb's mental health, or is she unconcerned?
No, she cares.
I would think anybody
Definitely.
with a
I mean,
brain
she
would have to be somewhat
sympathy for
concerned,
him,
just because that
first
is
and
not normal
foremost.
behavior.
She at this point is starting to care for these people, even though she won't admit it. She'd admit it more so than Caleb apparently will.
Wow.
But she is starting to, to
at
care, and ultimately she still has
Liam.
the beliefs of kind of what she said.
It's so weird switching
way
back and forth.
earlier in the campaign.
I feel like
whereas
when they're the person they are in
partners,
real
we're
life
teammates,
themselves,
and I
I always say
rely on
Caleb
you
or
to not
whatever,
do something
and
stupid
vice
and
versa.
meddle
When
and
they're
get
the
us all fucking
character, I always say
killed.
their real name.
So, yeah, she's concerned a little bit selfishly and, a little bit out of care and maternal instinct, I guess.
It's good that you have different characteristics like that, though, because even though Caleb internally might be feeling some way, it takes people a while to be able to vocalize that or to externalize it, and that's perfectly normal. It's
some
just
people-
different personalities.
Some people have a high IQ and a low EQ. You never know.
I have a low both. What does that mean?
You are a rock.
Yes, I love the
Like a rock.
Guys, Cypress Knight asks.
Oh, I thought he was going to fan art
How
of the
did Bo and
week.
Caleb feel about Shikaste saying the Mighty Nine are good people who do good things? Is that something they can begin to take to
I feel
heart,
like you'd have to
given
know
recent
that at this
events, or do they
point,
still think
even
of
if you're
themselves
just
as
us.
purely selfish?
We haven't done anything
Oh my
bad. We're
God.
helping children.
I,
We're helping families. We're helping
died
people.
a
We're doing
little,
missions, but we're doing everything on the
'cause,
level.
Right around the time
for
he
the
was
most
saying
part.
that, he
Everything that
also
matters.
inadvertently kind of quoted
Echoed
Molly. He echoed Molly. Yeah.
Totally freak accident echoed mine.
Yeah. I don't think Kari has that caught up on the full campaign. So when Kari was like, these are people who, are just trying to make each place that we find a little bit better. That's why I was like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
That was both me and Bo kind of reacting simultaneously.
Simultaneous reacting,
And then
actor
that's
and
gonna start like
character.
triggering. That always triggers things in your head, like especially for Bo, for someone who's not superstitious
feel like
or
I'm gonna go
believes in
build a
signs.
castle.
She's
Yeah.
like, well, here's a
50
theme that
minutes.
keeps arising. Fuck.
Yeah.
I can't sit still. I'm about
So
to
yeah,
explode.
that was mind blowing.
You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb has a slightly different perspective on it.
I feel like these two people
he knows
together.
what they've done here is good.
I feel like neither of them
I think he
are the
believes
type
that
to
the
run the
universe is
show.
pretty-
So both of them are
pretty
just
random.
very
Like, he knows that
cool,
good
calm,
things
and
happen, but
collective,
it's
just
pretty
rolling
random,
with the
kinda like
stories,
me.
and nothing is like a Sam
but
Riegel
also,
or someone
I
to
feel
break
like
up
the next thing
the
they could do,
the
like
dead,
Caleb and Bo and
the
the rest could,
downtime.
like, save an entire orphanage.
I need more
Kaz would
action.
still
I
believe
need more
he's a shit
excitement.
stain.
Yeah.
They're both like so just like,
Yeah.
Like, nothing's gonna erase what he's done.
I need Sam
Nothing.
to be
Nothing.
like, "Rah!"
This is what he
and
thinks
scream
right
and
now.
yell.
Okay,
Ashley
good. He
Johnson,
knows where
somebody
we'll
to be ridiculous. They're both too like
fully
out of
knows
it.
where it'll go.
They're making me fall
I hope
asleep.
so.
And I love them, and everything
Let's
they're
give away some
saying
more free shit, shall
is
we?
useful. But I feel like everyone is so
Before we do
tired,
that,
and it's making
funny
me
thing I
tired.
just remembered.
It's not
Ari was on
bad.
the same flight as us.
I'm just
out
exhausted,
to
and their
Indianapolis.
exhaustion is
And then
making
the
me
night
more
before the live
exhausted.
show, we're sitting at a table eating dinner. It's really late. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna call my kids."
I feel like they all rushed
He gets
back
up
from
the
Gen
table, and
Con
a group of
and
critters come
threw
up to the
whoever could
table, and they're
stay
like, "Oh,
awake
can't
in
wait
front
for
of the
live show
camera.
tomorrow." And we're like, "Please stay gone. Please stay gone. Please stay gone." We're
5
like,
to 10 minutes.
"Okay, good. Thank you. So nice to see you." You know. And then he comes back and he sits down, and we're like, "Oh boy."
We went through some extreme lengths
Yeah.
to smuggle that guy in.
Yeah.
And guilt for telling him, listen, you can't have any fun.
No fun.
Hide in
he
this
was-
hotel.
He had the reaction of a 12-year-old
Yeah.
in Vegas being
Yeah.
told, you have to stay in the hotel room.
He did.
He was like, are you fucking...
Yeah.
It's hard to understand, but we knew how sweet the
Yeah.
nectar would be if he came out totally
Yep.
unexpected.
Yep. Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
a great moment.
Yeah, props to our whole crew that we took
Props
with us to keep
to
him
the
a
whole
secret.
crew.
Yeah.
Our next giveaway is for
Fan art of the week.
It's time for
Let's do it. Fan art of the week.
Oh, there's my head.
Hello, there's you again.
Oh, there's my head again.
I feel like there are 100 questions.
big.
This week
We could have been
William
asking about
pointed
the
this out.
battle and stuff, and instead,
This week's fan art winner
I feel
for
like we
episode
asked
29 was sent
a
in
whole
by
lot of things we
Emily
already knew.
Tuzignat at
Fugazi.
M2's Fugazi 12. Let's take a look.
Fugazi. We got the Fugazi.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
There's our
they're
guests.
so cute.
Our great guest.
Oh, is that what it is? I was going to say, okay. We got Callie,
And
Keg,
every time we have a
Neela,
guest,
and Shikasta.
such
Got
good
it.
art.
Interesting.
Every
I
time
like
we have a
it.
guest, about 5,000
Not
people
my
go, "This
favorite
one,
style
we
of
wanna keep this
animation,
one."
like whatever
Every
it
time
is.
without
Not,
fail.
I don't know.
It's
It's
'cause we
not
pick good
animation.
guests.
We picked
That is not my
Lucas.
favorite style of art, I should
No,
say.
I
That's
like
more
Stacy,
realistic, more
the Duchess
human-like.
Anastasia.
I'm more a
Man,
fan
that
of
one's awesome.
cutesy,
Thank you to
like
everyone who
cherub-looking stuff,
submitted.
or more
Congrats
animated.
To you.
I don't know. That's
Emily,
too
you
real to
won
me.
This.
It's my personal
Hickory
preference. It's still
tabletop
beautifully
dice
done.
tray from our friends
I'm
at
not
Wormwood
saying it's not
Gaming.
talented. It's
Make
beautifully
sure to
done,
check out
terrific.
wormwoodgaming.com.
Not my style.
And you can enter our weekly contest by emailing your GIF or fan art to submit.
I always remember my brother's an artist,
It is.
and he does all sorts of things. And I always was like,
Smells so good.
can
Rules
you
for
draw
our
people?
contest
And he's
are
like,
available
no,
at
it's the one thing
critroll.com.
I'm
We
miserable
got to
at,
go by one
drawing
of the 3 places
human-like
we got to
people.
stop by on the
But I could
floor.
draw like
Sunday briefly,
caricatures
Jenko
and
was
stuff
the
like that.
Woodward.
And I'm
You can say
like,
hi to all of our
I'm good
homies
with
over
that
there.
because I don't
There's something
really
to talk
want to
about
see
is,
somebody
like,
draw
we're
real-looking
still a huge
people.
bunch of nerds
To
who
me,
wanted to go
I see them
shopping
every
and
day.
Yeah.
I see hundreds of real people every day.
So if you're
I
one
want to
of the
see an
critters who are on the
animated
showroom
cherub
floor and you
version
saw
of
us
life,
skulking around,
so I can smile and
thank you
enjoy
for letting
things.
us shop because we had like 32 minutes. We had like an hour and 2 minutes to go everywhere. We went to like 5 tables.
We wanted to shop, and then we wanted to go see our friends at the different booths, Dwarven Forge, Wormwood, Level Up,
My
Dice.
card declined because I was in another
Are they
state.
all
Yeah, a
at
lot of our
Ren
cars
fairs?
got shut off.
Are those
Dice.
places
they're
like Wormwood and stuff like
these
that? Do
people
they
would
show up at
definitely
Ren
not be at a
fairs?
nerd convention
Things like
trying to buy
Dungeons and
terrain
Dragons
right
related?
now.
I
Half the time
wouldn't see why
walking
that
around
wouldn't be a
on
good
the
idea.
phone With the bank,
To me,
trying
that'd be
to
like
unlock my
very
card.
advantageous for
Yeah,
the
we were
business.
trying to buy so much dice.
Tons of
All
Dungeons
of
and
us
Dragons
banks.
type stuff
did.
would go well
we
with
did.
that, I feel.
Yeah, but to your point, yeah, we had a very small window. So if we weren't as friendly, it was because A, super tired, B, we wanted to buy nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a few more questions in.
A few more questions. Looks like we got 3 left, I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Counting this, 3 left, my guess.
Electric Mizella asks,
Electric
does Caleb regret
Mizella.
using the invisibility scroll now that he can't add it to his own spellbook?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
he
an interesting
regretted
question.
that.
See,
I
I'm
said it
intrigued.
in the moment, I didn't want to. He regretted it.
I'm
before he
intrigued.
even
That's
did it.
interesting. Why did you
He
do
wants
that?
as much. He wants to
Yeah.
gather, but
Yeah.
Let's do it.
why did I do it? Because
thought it was necessary. He had to have thought it was
his haste a
necessary.
dud. He, in a stressed out moment, just because he thought they were still like directly in harm's way, and he's blind.
This to
when
me is
he's
the best question of the
functioning.
night
He's
so
blind
far.
and deaf, so like
That, to me, is
he thought they were
something
still,
I'm
like,
curious
in
about.
trouble, so
I
he
feel
wanted
like
his
everything
single
else was
bodyguard. He went with the
self-explanatory.
group to be ready. So that fizzled out. He didn't have a lot of spells. A lot of what I did in that game is because all my big guns were gone, and I had first level spell slots up until the end. I didn't have fucking the right. I feel your pain preparing spells, and I as a player planned badly on level 1 spells. Nothing was of any use for that final battle. So I had a bunch of first level spells that I couldn't do dick with. So
he did have a plan. The plan just didn't work out.
I like this character. I don't want him to die.
Yeah.
And so Caleb thought, like, the last thing I want to do in the world is just fritter away this spell that I can
Has
use 100
anybody
times.
frittering away? Your young men will be frittering.
But I
got
also don't want to die. So the
right here in
goal
River
was
City
to stay alive until the end. And there were multiple moments, like when there were those cages and there were people in there.
I don't know why you do this, or if anyone would ever dare do this on live television, let alone.
Yeah.
But
It was
could
just
you,
laying low
or
so I
has
could be
anybody
of
off
use
themselves just because they're
against that
tired
big
of the character?
motherfucker at the end.
Like, I'm not digging this character, so I'm just going to make some questionable choices. And
It worked.
ups, I died, like anything like that. I feel like that'd be horrible. But someone might do it if they really dislike the class or the character they picked.
Do you think Bo has gained a sort of pen pal in Keg like Jester got with Callie? They have a lot in common and worked really well together. Can sending stones be utilized for booty calls?
Like a prison pen pal, conjugal visits.
Prison pen pal with conjugal visits. I love it.
Bo's not the pen pal type of girl. Have a feeling Keg would agree.
Yeah.
Share that sentiment.
Yeah.
Like a twister, I was born to walk away.
Like a twister.
Yeah.
Walk away. Like
That's
a twister.
hilarious.
I was born to
Yeah.
walk away.
I'm not gonna do that.
I was born to walk alone. It's alone. Unless there's.
He didn't quit it.
I understand. It's okay.
See, that's an odd
Corey
question,
Star
too.
asks,
Considering
Liam,
we only have like
you
7 or
dedicated
8
the kill to
questions. The
Frumpkin
best
and
one
not
we could come
Molly.
up with was
that
are you going to
an
keep in
intentional
contact with
RPG
Keg
choice?
after this booty
You
call?
Wow.
pissed
I mean,
Wow.
so
it's
many
funny,
people off
This came
with
up at
that.
the-
and I
the
enjoy
panel,
that
too,
we're
did it
answering
not?
it.
Did that question say
I've got
dedicated?
100 other
Yeah,
questions
that's
I'm
really
curious about that are
strong.
It
important to
is,
the story.
yeah.
No, I mean, listen, for a couple of things. One is, and I talked about this a bit on a panel at Gen Con.
I mean, it doesn't mean I'm
Frumpkin
right.
is more important than
I just
a
feel like there's
familiar.
way more
Frumpkin,
important things than whether or not
briefly, 'cause I've already
Bo
said
and
this,
Keg
Caleb
are going to stay in
had a
touch.
cat when he was a little boy named Frumpkin. That cat was a girl.
Oh.
But when he decided once he was out of the asylum and he was alone and he wanted to have like a piece of his childhood, so he recreated his cat using magic. Except when he did it, that one kept having balls, which is why Caleb is occasionally confused whether Frumpkin's a she or a he. Danny, are you okay?
Danny's sighing in the background.
I am so confused. Is that something you worked out? I have so many questions now.
Okay, so I'll answer that question. Then
Like,
I'll
is
get back
that
to
a
that question.
narrative beat you thought up in your head?
That was
Less than
a
10
yes
minutes.
and improv thing because Liam also had a cat named Frumpkin as a
Right,
little boy,
right.
and that
We
cat
said
was
this
a
before.
girl. But I decided when I was creating my character that Frumpkin was a boy. But because I have real memories as Liam with my cat as a girl, I kept messing up the gender of the fucking cat in the game. So then I retooled my story so
You
that.
put this in black and white.
Huh?
You typed this on paper.
No, I just thought about it. So.
So you decided.
So.
Curious though.
So the first part of my answer to that question is that Frumpkin is more important than just a magic spell. Frumpkin is like he.
See, the thing,
absolutely
if I'm
eviscerated
wrong
and
and
destroyed
Marisha isn't
his
drunk,
lovely
I
childhood,
think what it is
wonderful
she
childhood,
reminds me
good
a
childhood,
lot
and he wanted to have
of a
piece
bunch of the
that
girls I
in
used to
his
hang out
miserable
with back in like
existence.
college
But
days, like
but the
15
second half
years
of that
ago.
answer is it wasn't
Half the
dedicated
girls I
to
used to hang
Frumpkin.
out with when they would get
Caleb
drunk
was
would act like
exhausted
that,
and
where they would
bleeding
always
out.
be
He was on the
giggly
fucking
and
verge of
laughy
death,
and
so
always
that
like
line was the
real
equivalent
big
of,
smiles because they were
"Fuck this
potheads
day."
and
It
drank.
was an awful
And they
day.
always were
And to
high
say,
as
like,
kites
that was from Molly
and acted and looked
is
just
too
like
on
she
the
did.
nose. I mean,
And I
they're
feel like
all
she
thinking-
doesn't even like know
they're
where she
all
is. She's
thinking
just
it. They're
laughing
all
and
weighed
giggling
down by it.
and
There's
like.
no need to say
I mean,
it.
maybe
The
they're just
day is
tired.
awful. And what's more, Molly's dead. For all they knew in that moment, the other 3 are dead too. They don't know.
Yeah.
This is a fucking torture chamber. They're in a Saw movie right now. They don't know how the other 3 are, so maybe they're all dead.
Yeah.
Certainly Molly's dead, so no, it was not dedicated to the cat.
I saw similar comments about Bo not immediately running into the cages to cradle Ford or Jester or
Yasha.
Yasha, and that it was
Hard day,
just
man.
cold and
I was surprised that
cold-hearted of Bo, but
Bo
like not already
Wanted
went
to
into
shack
that.
up with
Like you said,
Keg.
like we were all feeling it and thinking.
Well, meanwhile,
it's
we found
there.
Yasha, and her and
Like,
Yasha were kind of
collapse
giving
on
each
the
other
floor and,
flirtiness.
Yeah.
recover for
I thought that was a
second,
little
take
interesting
stock,
that we
see what's
found
going on.
Yasha, and then
also,
she's
So
like,
called
"Yo,
Scarlett
Keg, I
O'Hara.
want to bang you."
Can't think about that right now.
I mean, it ain't like she owes
Have to
anything to
think about
Yasha,
that
but she's
tomorrow.
definitely been flirty to
there you
Yasha.
go.
That was a pretty good
Absolutely.
Scarlett Johansson.
Almost as
Yeah.
good as an impression you did last night.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Save it for Friday.
Oh
Friday.
boy, you guys are in for a real broadcast.
Bottom line is Caleb is in love with his cat, and the shippers need to focus on that.
They should.
Send me fiction about that.
I want to see that on Tumblr. God damn it.
Send me
No, I
fiction
don't.
about that.
I'm sure it's there.
This might be the last question.
Okay, guys. Fanfic Addict asks, one of my other accounts.
Oh, there's going to be another one.
How scared are your characters to have to tell Yasha what happened?
Oh, about Molly?
Yeah.
Not
it's
exciting.
No good.
Not something you're really looking forward
Honestly,
to.
it isn't
It's-
on
it's
my
fucking
list
bad
of
news
things
right
that are
now.
going to be
We've all
horrifically
collectively
reacted to.
talked about it all.
I've seen and heard
stream
way
the
worse
past
things
few
than us
weeks.
telling Yasha that
And
Molly
it's not
died.
just Yasha, it's all of them.
Jester, yeah, Jester's going to be
Ford.
devastated.
I feel like that is worse. I feel like Jester and
Uh-huh.
Ford,
Yeah, not
Like,
looking
more
forward
so
to
Jester.
that.
I feel like
Lucky they
Jester will be the
survived.
most.
They're like, I mean,
To react to it.
again, in the middle of that fight, I was like, this is possibly going to be a
I feel like
TPK live
Yasha's
on
just
stage in
built
Indianapolis.
where she'll
Really
like
did.
probably
Plus, there's two whammies.
pretend
We got
like
rid
it's
of-
not
we
not
got
pretend like
Molly
it's not a
died,
big
and
deal,
then
but
we
just
also
like
said goodbye to
brush it
Kiri.
off
Jester was
because that's how she
technically there,
reacts.
but Laura
That's how
wasn't
she
able to be
deals
there
with
for
shit.
that
I
one.
feel like.
I am so glad that
She's so,
the
like,
episode where
ignoring of
Molly died
everything
was
emotional.
not the live show, because we didn't have any grief counselors on site. We just would have had to send Danny out there to hug everybody.
She would have done it.
She would have
I
done
would
it.
have done it immediately because I would have needed those hugs.
Yeah, yeah.
Completely selfish.
You
it
would
would
have been
I
getting
need
more
comfort.
out of the hugs than anybody.
I
where
need
we left
comfort.
off, like, that's a real fucking rough moment.
I'm afraid.
I got spanked hard.
I'm afraid. I think Ford will be pragmatic.
Yeah.
I think Yasha will be angry, and I'm terrified that Jester's gonna like blame herself.
Yeah, emotionally, Jester's going to be the worst. Yasha
You guys
will be
think-
fine.
What do you think's
I'm sure
been-
Ford will
what do
be
you think
fine.
they've been going through in this time?
Torture.
You think they've been tortured?
The place was
Brainwashed,
described as a torture pit.
Yeah, breaking people mentally.
But we were not far behind
What-
them.
what-
There's
to
a
what end
chance.
do you think he was torturing them? For what? Information about
There's
the
a chance we got to them before the torturing kicked in.
Manipulate
Because we
them and turn
literally
them onto his
stopped in
side?
town for a day
I heard
or
Matt
a
say
day and a
today on his
half.
Fireside chat that
What
one
are
of
the odds
things
they
he
ran
does
back
as a
and
writing
immediately
tool
started
for
torturing our people?
his bad
There's a
guys
very good
is that he
chance
thinks about
they didn't
all the ways that
suffer
they can
any
try and take
horrible
care of someone
consequences
without
yet.
having to kill
Even
them.
if they were
Like, oh, if I
slightly
paid him
tortured,
enough
I'm sure it
money,
didn't
maybe
get to
they'll
the
go
number
away.
one
If I
level.
manipulate them, something like that. Do you think he had something in mind, or just torturing because he got off on it?
Where my brain was going, and I don't know if I'm correct or not, with Lorenzo being a trafficker and a slaver.
That he's just a miserable
And
piece of shit, horrible
demon?
person. A demon?
Devil?
I mean, an
Whatever,
Oni.
demon,
You guys
devil?
said it was
I'm
an
so-
ogre,
I'm so
Oni.
confused with them. Oh,
mage,
an Oni?
I know.
a demon, so to speak.
It seemed like he was dealing in fighters, gladiatorial gladiators that fight to the death. And it seemed to me it was almost like I'm going to break them and train them and make them like a
See, this is the stuff I
Lucky
wanted to hear
Bombs.
earlier.
Winter Soldier.
I feel like we got
Soldier.
the last 2 or 3
boy.
questions, but
I was
in like 15
getting like
minutes.
winners like break you down mentally so you
turn
can
you into
snap
a
and
feral animal to fight.
To fight.
Yeah.
Type of put you in a fighting pit in the Nine Hills somewhere and see what happens.
So Lorenzo would have a journal that he would open, and to Jester he would go, donut, pastry, lollipop.
Oh my
He
god,
gets this joke.
I don't get it. Donut, pastry, love,
Yeah, Tusk Love.
Tusk love.
Favorite moment of the live show,
Is
episode
that?
29.
There's no way it's Tusk love.
Give it to me now.
Favorite moment of live show. No.
Mine was Sam not falling off the stage.
Mine too.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sam not
Yeah.
falling off the
When he
stage
came out
is
for
your
his
favorite.
test run on the rollerblades, not in the outfit, he looked as wobbly as I do when I stumble out of the TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
I was not confident that that was going to end up.
A big
going
fan
well,
of
but
TJ
he
Friday's
wants to practice
drinking?
backstage.
That's his place of choice for
I
drinking.
love both of our, like, kick-ass moments.
Yeah.
Were amazing.
I was gonna say, I think selfishly and biasly,
Yeah.
I really like the stunning strike moment and the how do you want to do
Love
this
the stunning
moment.
stroke, yeah. Stunning
Stunning
stroke
stroke.
is a very powerful.
Stunning
stroke, you'll
stroke.
see tomorrow night, or you'll see Friday night on Electric.
Electric
help me
Beargaloo.
God.
I've just been waiting for someone to do the stunning stroke to me for ages.
Once I reach 6th level,
The stunning stroke.
Also loved Max. You want me to dwell on that a little bit longer?
yeah, did you
a
want
little bit
some more,
longer?
Max?
Matt wants us to finish because it's over.
Not kissing Caleb while he was invisible. I
Yes.
thought that was such a great moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not kissing
Yeah.
Caleb. That was cute.
I mean, there were so many.
Max is saying
I
wrap it
will
up.
say, I do not encourage this, and I never will again. People know how I feel about this subject. But whoever yelled out, "It's high noon," fucking made us all die.
I remember that when that happened. There was a bunch of things
was
yelled
pretty
out.
cool.
I
Don't
remember the
ever
high
do it
noon.
again.
There was one or two other things.
Also, it's
One
not
of them
like
I
one
didn't
moment, but I
quite
also really
understand or
enjoyed
hear.
Going into this game, I knew that I was screwed spell-wise, which is my jam, right? So I don't have a lot. And I was not anticipating what the hell I would be doing in the last hour, but making like role-playing lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah.
And just sort of like crawling away from that dude with his glaives and just hanging on by a thread and not, like, I had a great time being fucked up.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show that, like, this game, yes, it feels awesome to get stunning stroke. Yes, it feels awesome. That was for you, Max. Yes, it feels awesome to get the how do you want to do this, but it really, like, there is so much fun to be had in the failures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
you all
good.
prevailed.
Yeah.
No one died.
We definitely missed Travis and Laura this year so bad.
Yeah.
Missed them so bad.
Sucks, man. I mean, babies are fine. and
They're
all.
cool.
They're
yeah,
great.
babies
They're
are
cool.
definitely
Unconditional love and all.
alive.
Yeah. Miracle of life and all that shit.
It's like baby D&D. You know what I mean? Obviously not for them, but for us.
I can't wait for them to come back.
I know, me too.
Gotta get the team back together.
Yeah.
It's
Here's
funny,
your
it's like every
baby,
time
and
we
here's
see
what
them
we think of
briefly,
it.
it's
We don't
like
give a shit.
seeing an
We're playing
apparition.
D&D.
I know,
That's
Seeing a
what
hologram
Brian
of
just said.
Tupac, you're like,
Touching
Your
them to
baby's
make
over
sure
here,
they're real.
underneath all of us playing
was in the studio
D&D.
today.
we
and
all
it was
applauded.
like,
I know, it's all in good fun. It's
man.
Brian.
walked through the building.
Oh my God,
Made me
you
so happy.
exist.
All right,
Made me
guys,
so
wrap it
happy
up.
to see him.
So
We're already over time. I'm Max now. I just got a House of the Dragons on in like 12 minutes, and they're taking
I'm so
forever.
excited.
Yeah, he surprisingly doesn't.
I know
look
it's
as
over,
good
like,
as
right
the
now.
Ford bust. That's not, you can't see.
The
but,
Ford bus is gone.
That's all the time we have for
Yes,
tonight.
I know it's all
We
the
would like
time
to
you
thank
have,
our
Brian.
sponsor.
Apologies, guys, if I'm a little aggressive and irate. I'm drunk. I had a lot of coffee. I
stick
just
around
watched
for
the
Talk
Saints
Machina
get
After
fined and
Dark.
suspended for brawling,
Where we will fall asleep.
and I feel like they're
live on
dragging
the
their
air.
feet on this intentionally.
Critical Role Campaign 2, Episode 30 airs this week.
30
Episode
episodes,
30.
you guys.
Episode 30.
That means 20 more till we're at 50.
Awesome.
Oh, wait.
Awesome.
Let's look into
Yeah.
that. Something seems off. I would like to thank Marisha and Liam for joining us tonight. Until Thursday, don't forget to love each other. Stay
Don't forget to
turned.
love each other.
Get some sleep, everyone.
Yeah,
Don't
see,
worry,
I
it's
think they're
almost there.
riding on nothing.
Good night.
Ciao, ciao.
All right, guys, that is it for episode 29 of Talks Machina. I'm sorry if I was coming off rude or aggressive. I felt like, I'm being honest with you guys, the first half of that, I thought all the questions were pointless. I'm already like half asleep, and they look like they're half asleep. They're dragging, and I'm literally like, oh my God, could this be any more boring? I love the shit out of both of them. It's nothing personal. I just feel like the two of them together, they got zero energy. Usually I'm dealing with Sam Riegel or Ashley Johnson or Brian and all the three or somebody, Matt Mercer. There's always somebody that's very high energy and somebody that's giving answers that I want to hear or want to know. It's half not their fault. I feel like the people that wrote in questions, what was that all about? I feel like I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being real. And granted, like I said, I had a lot to drink and I'm also riding on 3 coffees. I drank 6 or 7 seltzers, then finished the live stream after like 5 or 6 hours, and then I drank 3 coffees. And then I saw the Saints got 2 players suspended, and now my energy is like riding through the roof. And I'm sitting here, and it looks like Marisha and Liam are falling asleep, and then we're asking questions about, hey, the guy that just left, Keg, the character that just left, are you going to think about her after she's gone? Like, I mean, maybe that's something that's interesting down the road, but I think there's 1,000 more important things, and I'm not trying to be rude and offend people that are asking these questions. I just feel like, holy crap, there's 100 things I'd rather know right now. We had our characters almost die. Molly just died. Neela and Keg left. Shakasta just left. We have like all these guests and surprises. Lorenzo just died after he wasn't even supposed to. And we're asking 30 minutes of questions that are totally irrelevant to the plot. Now, maybe they're important to some people, but at the end, we started getting good ones. And by then, I'm already like, oh my God, I'm so tense right now. I just want to get up and run a marathon. And I just, maybe I should have jumped right into Talks Machina after doing 5 or 6 hours of a live stream, but it was my only choice because I got work tomorrow, work Tuesday, and House of the Dragon is literally on in 9 minutes. So I'm going to try to edit this up for tonight, if not tomorrow. We're going to jump into part 1 of episode 30 tomorrow, and we're going to go from there like we normally do. Wednesday, part 2, and the Patreon exclusive hour. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me, dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have the time to edit it all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Steven Universe, Centaur World, and Infinity Train all started this month. Check it out. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.